Hey guys, it's the Mike Cannon here. This is the start to my new channel. We're going to be doing a simple oil change here on my 2013 Honda Civic. Yes, it is a little modified, but for the most part it's not going to be much different from your typical Camry or any other type of sedan oil change. I'm just going to try to walk you guys through and give you some of the pointers that I've learned in my time working on cars. Now, a little disclaimer, I am not a professional mechanic. I'm just your everyday run-of-the-mill guy, hence why my channel is called the Mike Cannon, because if I can do it, you can too. So we're just going to be taking a look at some of the basic things, like here are some of the things you're going to need to change your oil. Obviously oil and oil filter, but we'll get to all that right now as we go down the line of the things that I've grabbed for my oil change. So you're going to want at least 2 jacks, but I'm bringing 4 because 4 is safer, a hydraulic jack, a breaker bar in case it's your first time changing your oil. It may not be so easy. A 3/8 wrench, multiple lug nuts for this car, specifically a 17 mil though. A couple pairs of gloves, unless you like getting oil all over your hands. Maybe a pair of gloves for breaking stuff in case it's your first time and it's on there really stiff. I like to bring some paper towels and a microfiber, and then also somewhere to dispose of your oil. Oil drain pan, couple of funnels. I have here 0W20 for my car, which is the recommended oil. You want to use what's correct for your car. K&N filter, and I like the K&N filters because they can be taken off with a simple wrench instead of an oil wrench. And so yeah, you're going to want to start by putting your jack stands in place next to the jacking points on your car. I like to get them lined up first and right away, foremost, instead of trying to bring them over afterwards. You're best getting everything into an organized place from the get-go, or you will find yourself rummaging through things and struggling to look for stuff as you begin to get confused and struggle with the process of working on your car. So I like to keep everything clean and organized. I know this isn't ideally how everyone works, but just try your best. It'll help out, I promise you. Yeah, so I'm running around, putting inside the actual jacking points inside the jack stands. Probably could have sped this up a little bit, but I just wanted you guys to see my process. Don't forget to get something to drink, you know? So good. Don't forget to lock your parking brake, guys. Mine's a little messed up, so I'm going to do like 3 or 4 clicks, but ideally you always want to do about 6. Now, when jacking the car up, I like to make sure that the jack is pre-aligned with the jacking point so that when you lift the car up, you do not have to struggle to get it in that point because your hydraulic jack's in the way and you already know that it's lined up. And I also like to make sure that the hydraulic jack is lined up super well on the jacking line that goes across the car, just so you don't bend or break anything, because as the car goes up, it's a lot of weight, and one little mistake here could really give you a headache, bend up your side skirt, hurt the side of your car. I've seen jacks slip off the jack, and then it causes a lot of damage that you just can't reverse easily. So take your time with this, and you know, like I said, just go slow, don't rush anything. Once you know what you're doing, you can kind of speed up a little bit. You'll see how my car teeter-totters a lot because of the suspension it has. So I take my time incredibly like slow, basically, just because, like I said, if something happens, it's not going to be so easy to reverse the damage you do. So yeah, once you got the car jacked up and the jack lines up, release your jack, release the pressure. I always bleed my jack a couple of times afterwards just to make sure that there's no oxygen in it. Just good practice. And we're going to kind of speed through the rest of this just so you guys don't have to painfully watch how slowly I do this. Like I said, my car's a little bit low and it teeter-totters a lot, which, you know, it'll basically teeter on and off a couple of the jacks as you're raising it, which kind of leaves you in a dangerous situation. You can see on this side, basically the passenger side rear is coming really high up in the air while I'm doing this. On your car with a stock suspension, it shouldn't so much, a little bit easier, but hey, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Here I am doing the last side, kind of getting it jacked up here. And what you can't see is I actually spend a little bit more time lifting up the front just so there's plenty of access to get under the car. It's kind of hard to get under a car when the jacks are on their lowest point. Now, just for prosperity's sake, I had to show you me squeezing under the car one time. Always want to pick your path before you go in. Like if I tried to go in on the wheel side, definitely not getting in there. I'm going to slide my oil drain plan a little bit out of the way while I break this nut. Now mine, I already know it's not super tight, so I don't have to fight it, which is why I try this ridiculous position to try to break it, but it didn't work. And so instead of continuing to try, I'm going to try to readjust. You always want to try to find the best position where you have the most leverage. I'm trying to use a little bit of a longer wrench here. Now my bolt's a little bit weird from having used it for so long. And also, I don't know why I'm using a long socket. It's actually not on there that good. But you couldn't see there, but it did break. So I'm going to position now my oil pan for drainage. And I'm going to slip out, get some Neotile gloves. I'm going to slowly back out the oil drain plug. And I have a little trick where, you know, I'll back it out until basically I can tell it's flush, or basically there's no threads in there, and I'll kind of hold it there, reposition my fingers so I can do kind of a quick pull out and not get too much oil on my hands. But I'm not gonna lie, I actually did really good here. Usually I get oil all over the place. Not too bad. And then yeah, you're just gonna want to wait for the oil to drain. Now, some people remove the oil filler cap first beforehand, which, you know, I don't think there's really an exact science to it, but here I've left the oil filler cap on. I feel like it allows oil to drain a little bit slower, and I've experienced on some cars, if you take the oil filler cap off right away, it'll drain so fast that it will splash a lot. And you know, it's really up to you. I am gonna take the cap off here in a second. So we're gonna remove our oil cap here now to just make sure that any pressure that might be holding anything in there is now alleviated. And what we're gonna do now is clean off our oil filler cap. We always want to give everything a little wipe off. And also clean off our oil drain bolt. And what I didn't mention earlier is we had a new gasket for this. You always want to use a new gasket. Now some people will flip it over and use it twice. They're really cheap. If you can, just get a whole big bag of gaskets and always use a new one. It's just good practice. Although I've used them up to 5-6 times, you don't really want to do that. Just get a new one. Here we are going to loosen our oil filter. Now most of you might need to use an oil filter wrench. Worst comes to worst, if you don't have an oil filter wrench, you can stab a screwdriver through there. Most of the time it's going to be a battle to get one off. Most people over tighten these incredibly, but as you can see, mine's on there not too bad because I do all of mine myself and I don't want to set myself up for failure, so I basically hand tighten it every single time. You can see I only spun it off a little bit, trying to keep the oil drainage to one side of the filter, although this is impossible, really, because as you spin it off, there's still oil inside of the housing, which is going to kind of go everywhere. I was trying my best to do this nice and clean, but I don't think ever once in my life I've not dropped or splattered the oil. Like, I think I managed to catch it here, but this is always a headache for me. I literally tried my best to take my time, and yet, there it is. Got a little bit of oil everywhere. But hey, I'm trying. As you can see, I'm working with limited space here. So a little trick that I unfortunately didn't capture too well inside of the camera, but this is my ultimate trick after you drain some of the oil outside of there. I basically use the glove and fold the glove off of my hand over the oil filter housing. And yeah, basically you can just easily cover the whole oil filter with the glove, and then you can get out without really causing any more mess. Like I said, you won't see it too well, but if you just back the glove off your hand while you're holding it, you should be able to encapsulate the oil filter there and get out of there nice and safe. So, moving on, as we allow everything to kind of just finish dripping off, we are going to prime our oil filter with a little bit of oil. Don't get me wrong, I don't do this all the time. There's been a lot of times where I've just not done this, but for the sake of showing you everything correctly, now you don't want to contaminate your oil, so this rag is actually clean, it's been washed, but I am just going to lightly dab the smallest amount of oil out of there without really dipping it in, because like I said, you don't want to contaminate your oil before you put in your engine. Some people use their fingers, but I believe that the towel is probably cleaner than my finger, which may have grease or something on it. So we're coming back here underneath the car again. Everything's kind of slowing up. The oil's still dripping a little bit, but for the most part, it is slowing down. So I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to clean the oil that kind of spilled on the side of the engine. Drain pan there, and we're going to clean out the oil filter housing with the oil filter hose. Get it nice and clean. Now this won't stop dripping, so just wipe it down, kind of clean off some of the oil, and then we are going to put our oil drain bolt in there to cut off the oil drippage. You're just going to thread it in there ever so slightly. It's going to stop the drip or slow it down incredibly to the point you can get the rest of that oil off there. Giving everything just a little wipe, you know, it's not going to be perfect down there, it's the bottom of your engine, but once you're all done there, yeah, wipe some other areas. If you see things building up, you want to wipe them down so the next time you do your oil change, you can see if things are still dripping, to know if leaks are starting to begin or happen, or you can just monitor them and just know that, you know, hey, I'm leaking a little bit from my tranny seal here, I'm leaking a little bit from over here, and you can just like know what's coming up. So I'm going to spin my oil filter on there, and I'm just going to hand tighten this. I'm going to get it till it's snug, and then I'm just going to give it a little extra you know, barely any. To be honest, nothing crazy. I just want to be able to easily take this off later. I've never had a problem with leakage. I've never had an oil filter explode and fly off my car. So you know what? Just don't do it too tight. Don't be a jerk. Don't be that guy. Now see, I'm here now tightening the oil bolt, but I will say I should have used a much more shallow socket. As you can see, it's coming off, so that's my bad. My drain bolt's pretty beat up here, and it doesn't really sit on there too well, and I don't have a torque wrench. 32 foot-pounds would be the correct torque for the oil drain bolt, but I just did it about a quarter turn. It should be enough to keep it legit. No, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I got the worst angle on this. You absolutely cannot see what I'm doing, and I also filmed this in time-lapse on accident. You know, I'm learning, my apologies. But I am putting in 4.4 quarts of oil here. I'm also struggling to see how much is left inside of the bottle. That's why it's taking me so long. But yeah, every time I fill up a decent amount of oil, I'm basically going to pull the dipstick out. I'm going to clean it, and then I'm going to put it in one more time, dunk it in, and check the oil level. I got pretty close on the first try, so I just wanted to add a little bit more. And then once you've gotten it within the specified area on the dipstick, you're going to get inside of your car, and we're going to turn it on. You want to be careful when your car is on jack stands, you know, always take your time, don't jump in your car fast. A lot can go wrong, and only one thing can go right, so do it right the first time. So yeah, you're going to want to turn your car on, make sure it's not in gear. Actually, I guess if it was in gear, it wouldn't really matter, but you want to let the oil kind of circulate and get into the oil filter. And I made the mistake of not putting my oil filler cap back on, which is why my check engine light popped on for a second there, I think. So just make sure to do that before you turn the car back on. There is pressure inside that system, so just make sure to put your oil filler cap on before you turn anything on inside of your car. But everything was good there. We let everything circulate for a little bit. Now we're going to return to the front of the car, and we are going to check our oil level once again. see how much it dropped. Now you want to keep in mind a little bit of the oil is now circulated throughout the engine, so you don't want to overfill it. I like to be smack dab right in between the two lines on the dipstick. I've noticed in my experience, if you put a little bit too much oil, the engine doesn't run so good. I'm sure there's a science behind that, but, and I'm sorry this angle sucks, guys. I'm going to learn more about how to get a good, nice shot on the camera here, but I was showing you there that it's pretty close. It was close enough to the point where I didn't think I needed to put oil, but I always like to put a sip or two just to be sure. And once again, I'm so sorry you can't see it all, but like I said, I'm literally putting just a couple ounces in right now. And that's it. She's pretty much full of oil. I'm going to take my funnel out. I'm going to make sure it doesn't drip on my engine. And then I'm going to carefully thread in my oil filler cap. And bada boom. Our car is now full of oil. Going to want to give everything a little wipe down. Make sure everything's nice and clean. In case you spilled any oil anywhere. I did a pretty good job not spilling anything, but still, just for kicks, give everything a wipe down. And then yeah, in reverse order, basically going to take our car down. Taking it down is a little bit easier than going up with it. You still want to release the pressure on your hydraulic jack very slowly, as sometimes he's going to abruptly drop really quickly. And yeah, just make sure that the jacks have been removed from under the car by a lot so nothing gets hit, and you're going to be good to go. Now, what's an oil change? If you don't take it for a little cruise, make sure that everything's running good. I feel like a lot of people do oil change videos and they don't show the car running or what's going on afterwards. So you just want to, you know, drive around the block and make sure everything's good. Everything, you know, you don't want to jump to gunning it right away. You want to take your time and feel everything out. You know, if you did everything right, you know, you should be pretty confident. I'm always pretty confident my car is good. If anything, I always want to change my oil because cars just feel so good when they got fresh oil. The lubrication levels are so high and everything just runs so good. I love new oil. I change my oil sometimes every 2,000 miles. For me, it just makes me feel good, makes the car feel good, and feels worth it. It might not be the most financially responsible idea, but hey, my car's got 82,000 miles on it. Yeah, I've changed oil a lot, but it runs pretty good. So yeah, we're here in sunny Southern California. We're running down the street. We're cycling through gears. We're feeling her out. Everything honestly feels pretty good to me. But yeah, you might notice a couple times that like some sort of weird light flashes on in my car. I absolutely have no idea what it is. It flashes so quick I can't even see what's flashing. I don't know if it's a airbag light, if it's a seatbelt light. I honestly have no idea. I'm waiting to see, and I don't think the code will be there when I go to check for it, so I'm not going to check for it. I think if anything, I'm just going to disconnect my battery for a little bit and reset it. Maybe it's some sort of an electrical error, but can't be too sure until it decides to tell me what it is. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about the oil change. Feeling pretty confident everything's pretty good. The car's warmed up now, so I'm going to give it a little gas. We're going to go from third to second here, and we're going to see if we can hit some Vtec for you. Not breaking the law though, no. And they're really going too fast. I don't like endangering people, so we're just going to keep it chill right here. And yeah, basically we're just going to take you to the store with me. My work needed some oranges. I work at a bar, so gotta get some oranges for the peeps. Yeah, my shifter's really loose. I'm thinking honestly we're gonna do a video of like a acuity shifter or something. I'm having trouble getting it into the correct gear. I get a second gear grind sometimes, I think literally because the shifter's got so much play that I'm just missing the gear. But that would be a cool video, I think. Maybe do an acuity shifter, some acuity shifter bushings, make that a cool one, you know. I'm really not too sure what type of videos we're going to end up doing, but I'm just gonna try to, you know, anything that I end up doing to my cars, which I also have a Toyota Tacoma. We're gonna do some videos on that too. I'm just gonna try to make a video of it, see if I can't impart some knowledge or just show some people how I do it. I don't think I do it too much differently than most people, but for the most part I've learned a lot of little tricks here and there. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas for videos or if you have any questions, feel free to say in the comments what they are. I'll do my best to respond and to, you know, see if we can't make some more cool stuff. I'm trying to learn more about this platform, how it works, how to edit videos, so I promise things will get better in the future. I'm still trying to work on how to do all the angles and the lighting and everything. I am limited on space. As you can see, I was kind of doing this inside of my apartment garage, which I'm lucky my manager's cool with. I think. Don't know if she's cool, I just kind of do it. But yeah, we're almost getting to Rouse here. Just gonna swing around, you know, cruise a little bit. I felt like I hit a lot of red lights in this video, which is unfortunate. I wanted it to be kind of a quick cruise, but you know, we're getting there. So I think I'm just gonna speed through the rest of this section, to be honest with you. We are right down the street from Rouse, and we've made it, guys. We made it at the perfect time. The car's looking shiny, the car's looking beautiful. Maybe we'll have to do a couple of detailing videos or, you know, car cleaning videos. I recently ceramic coated my car, that's why it's looking like this. You know, the paint's not perfect, everything's basically like I'm just hiding something. But if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe even. As you can see, I have 0 subscribers. I have 0 comments, I have 0 likes. Give me a little support, let me know you like the channel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making some more videos for you guys. This is a really fun experience. So, peace. Have a great day, guys.